Hi, this is Rick from Webster Talk Radio. This is a story about a friend of mine, the late Donnie Marsh. He was in the military and he got called home to take care of some of his siblings because the hospital, Hubbard Regional Hospital, murdered his mother. And that was only found out because they were voted like the worst, or one of the three worst hospitals in the United States. Quite an accomplishment for a small town of Webster. So their answer to that was to fire all the nurses. Well, the nurses decided to say, well, fuck you. We were involved in covering up different things, and one of them was the untimely death of Donnie Marsh's mother, who the surgeon slipped with a knife and she bled to death during a simple D&C. And so that would have been all swept under the rug, and it all came to light. Long story short, Donnie won $1 million lawsuit. So, but back in his home, when he was living home, this is before they won the lawsuit, this was quite an apartment, to say the least. They had an extra bedroom, and I used to set up my amp in there, and one of the neighbors in the building, it was a six-family, three-decker, and one of the occupants was a guy named Reenie, and he was my drummer, so we would set up and play in there. We had a blast. It was anything goes, you know what I mean? And to give you an example of how fucked up this place was, Mike, Donnie's brother, one day, we're in the kitchen, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. It's dark out. And he said, "Hey, Rick, watch this." He shut the kitchen light off, and when he put it back on again, on the kitchen cabinets, there had to be 10,000 cockroaches, and I am not fucking kidding you. And as soon as the light went on, all you heard is click, 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 click. And within a second, they were all gone. I don't know where the fuck they went, but it really creeped me out. Now, Donnie Marsh, his goal, his dream was to build a funny car. His bedroom had like blowers and engine blocks and all this fucking shit. And he had this vision. And he told me that when his funny car was built, he was going to name it Dastardly Don. Thought it was a great name. So I assume that after they won the $1 million lawsuit, he bought the funny car, And I was over his house, and the funny car was garaged, and I asked him if he could fire it up. I mean, I was a motorhead. And he said that the nitromethane was so expensive, to just start it up was expensive, and he didn't want to do it, and he didn't do it. So that was the end of that. I do have this uncanny ability of seeing people before they die. So 10 years, 15 years went by, and I'm with my youngest son, Rick, and we're passing by Friendly's Plaza in Webster. Now, Friendly's is the corner store on this, let's say, vertical, the way it's set up, it's like vertically down the parking lot. At the end of the parking lot, there's like another building. This is like a strip mall going the other way. And one of the stores there was a hobby center where they raced RC cars, And to promote this RC car place, which was just opening, Donnie brought his car there. Now, as I'm driving by, it's like miraculously, because this is quite a ways down the parking lot, I see it looked like a funny car. So And on the side of it, I see Dastardly Don. I'm like, that son of a bitch, he did it. So I went down there, and it wasn't a funny car. He explained to me that, you know, a race car, a funny car is a dragster with a body on it, basically. A fiberglass body. And unless you have a sponsor like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or whatever the hell it is, you can blow your motor on the starting line. And I don't know what it costs. Let's say $50,000 or $100,000 for that motor. You're fucked. I mean, you need a sponsor, and he didn't have one. You know, you have to create a name to get a sponsor. So he traded the funny car in for a jet car. It looks just like a funny car, only instead of a combustion engine, it has a literal jet engine in it. And he was telling me how he, you know, races semi-pro. And I guess it was like he was doing like 15 races a year. And he hoped that by the next year he would be racing professionally full time. 2 weeks after, and my son was just blown away by this car. I mean, it really does. It looked just like a funny car, except for it had a jet engine in it. 2 weeks later in South Carolina, after the starting lights went off and, you know, he took off, the car veered to the right, he hit the guardrails, and his neck got broken, you know, and in the same way that Dale Earnhardt died, you know, without wearing that. I think it's called a Hans brace or whatever. So anyways, that's the story of Donnie Marsh and Dastardly Don. He did fulfill his dream, and God rest Donnie Marsh. So this is Rick from Webster Talk Radio, out.